2016 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championships from Turkey, proudly brought to you by the International Ice Hockey Federation, AFRI Live, and the South African Ice Hockey Association.
I'm standing with Hannes Botha, our Vice President of South African Ice Hockey Association. Welcome, Hannes. What is SA doing to improve ice hockey in our country?
We actually embarked on a couple of programs 3 years ago where we started the program for Director of Coaching. So we've really got involved with the coaches, development from the USA Hockey on a coaches side. We've got now 10 level 3 coaches in South Africa. We've also embarked on a program for officials to get the officials better and up to standard. And then also on the development side, whereas previously, players started at 14 years old, we've actually got now under 10 league where we've got players at 6 and 9 years old in the league. So we're really developing ice hockey from an early age in South Africa at the moment.
I was about to ask you, is ice hockey a growing sport in SA?
Definitely. 4 years ago we were like 350 players in South Africa. Now we're standing close to about 700-800 players in South Africa. We're also now in 4 provinces where we've got ice rinks where they play. Yeah.
Does the new USA coach fit in with the players, and do they look up to him?
Yes, for sure. He's been an NHL player. He played almost 300 NHL games, and that's the top hockey league in the world. And the players just, they just love him and they respect him for he's been playing at that level. And the coaching, it's just phenomenal. We had Bob Mancini, former, he actually helped us the last 3 years to get to the level so that we can appreciate what Mark Campbell is actually doing for SA at the moment.
I'm standing here with our South African ice hockey coach, Mark Campbell. He is a former National Hockey League player and he's also director of the hockey operations for the Eastern Hockey League. Is that correct, Mark?
Both right on. The NHL is the biggest or the best league in the whole world. I played for 3 different teams in that league, and currently my job is to oversee the Eastern Hockey League, all the hockey operations, which is developing young players from the ages of 16 to 20 and hopefully bring them on to the NHL at some point.
I was about to ask you, are you happy with the preparation and the work ethic of the players?
The work ethic, yes. The amount of preparation, no. Being a hockey coach, you want everything to be perfect. We've had 4 or 5 great days here, but they're short. Time is short, and you're coming in, and I'm introducing some different philosophies than they used to. So they're grasping them. They're giving us, if they have full grasp of what I'm asking them to do, we'll have a chance to win every hockey game over there. We're going to have some mistakes. We'll have some breakdowns, and okay, that's how you react to them. So we'll see.
Tell me, Mark, what further improvements would you like to add and do to the team? What further improvements would you like to add?
Well, I'd like to have a little bit more time to continue implementing my philosophies. One of them is intensity, and it's great to hear that the hockey people that have come to watch us play says, I haven't seen our boys play that hard ever. I says, well, that's how hard we're going to have to play if we're going to win. It's also here the attitude towards it is they're super fans of the game. They love and they're passionate about the game. But the reality is life has to happen in between. They work, they have to support their habit of hockey. So I get that. So I would love to think that at some point in time that, maybe 5-10 years down the road that they can just worry about playing hockey and really reach some great heights.
Well, Mark, thank you so much, and we wish you all the best in Turkey.
Thanks, Marsha. I appreciate it.
Andre, how are you feeling, first of all? I mean, you're going to Turkey, the World Championships. How are you feeling at the moment?
Well, always excited. Mildly confident, that counts. But yeah, feeling good. We've worked hard. We've trained really hard over the last few months. So now it's about putting the pieces together. But yeah, confident.
And tell me, Andre, how do you feel about this year's team selection?
Every selection's tough, right? because there's a lot of players who are in the mix. Every player brings a different attribute and a different skill set, and it's not all about always choosing the players that look the best to you. It's the players that can get a job done. And I believe in a group that we've got now, we've got a bunch of guys that really know how to play the game, that are very passionate about the game, but also the group that's worked the hardest to be here.
And tell me, Andre, does your federation give you enough support for preparation?
Yeah, they do. There's a lot of money that gets put into it. Is it professional? As much as possible. But it's not a professional sport, so you do what you can with what you have. And yeah, we've had a lot of support from them this year. I would say that a victory is definitely something we have in sight. There's teams there that we know we can beat. There's teams there that I don't believe have the same athleticism that we do. So I'm pretty confident we're going to do well. But that's only done once you're out there, right?
Yes.
So I think we'll put it together.
As the captain now of the SA entry, how do you motivate your team?
Well, there's two types of ways of doing it, right? You can speak a lot or you can do a lot. And I think you have to find a healthy balance between the two. I can speak a lot, but I do tend to like to lead by example more than anything else and do the things that I expect other people to do as a leader. But, I'm only as good as the team behind me, and they support me really well, and they believe in me, and I think that's a big part of it. They're motivated because I'm motivated.
Sure, Andre. All the best. Thank you so much. And we'll see you when you come back.
So the SA team going to be going out and lining themselves up. Captained by Andre Moret, the goalkeeper, very important this time around. Ashley Bok is going to have his hands full, hopefully keeping everything out of the net. The forwards, Usman Samai and Cameron Burrell, working well together to get the job done and find the net on more than one occasion, we hope. We'll be picking up on the action from the Luxembourg, Hong Kong and Georgia games, where South Africa went up against the best. Luxembourg versus South Africa, the first match that we'll be concentrating on, and the first time both of these competitors have gone up against each other. Very much a cobweb blowing off scenario, where at the beginning of a huge tournament like this, all of the teams going in completely blind and unsighted, trying to figure things out. For this match, we'll be watching South Africa playing right to left and seeing if they can go for the first goal. It wasn't to be though. Luxembourg were to take first blood extremely early on in the match, and South Africa got a huge wake-up call, knowing that they were going to have a very long tournament if this was going to be how it went. They were able to go straight back into the Luxembourg half and go after the net, tying the scores early on. After that, it was all about South Africa trying to figure things out as we changed ends, and South Africa found the net once more as they started to pile on the pressure. Michael Edwards was going to be looking strong. Zandre Buerta as well. Both of them taking one of the goals each. Luxembourg 1 point adrift, but trying to push on and get back control. High energy. Saw Luxembourg go and draw the scores at 2 for 2. After that, it was about South Africa going and taking it straight back. This seemed to be the ebb and flow of the match, with South Africa reacting every single time they got the puck back and were able to take control. In a timeout, all teams knew exactly what they had to do because the ticking clock was about to stop, and it did, with South Africa taking a 1 point advantage, walking away with the first victory. It was a close one though, and they knew they would have to react a little bit faster to the rest of the matches. The Luxembourg goalie, Philippe Lepage, as well as South African captain Andre Moret, walking away with their Players of the Match awards. With Turkey, of course, in its time of need, it was fantastic to see our South African ambassador coming across and letting it be known that we are here to support Turkey in their time of need. So confirmation of the final scores for the first match, SA 3, Luxembourg 2. South Africa coming off their first win of the tournament, getting one over on Luxembourg. Now Hong Kong, the next match up. A smaller team in stature, so South Africa a much more physical team, and we'll be looking to see them muscle their way through this time around. Hong Kong took the puck and ran with it and held early possession straight away, meaning that South Africa knew exactly how this match was going to be played out. Hong Kong were going to be going after it and going on the attack from the get-go. Always going to be a difficult team to figure things out. Hong Kong, smaller team, as we said, in stature, but they tend to be very, very fast and hard to nail down and actually cover the man. Took South Africa a while to get themselves lined up, but still the 0-0 showing that no one team had held the advantage in the early stages of the match. South Africa was starting to get frustrated. South Africa would know that they would have to get the puck and go on the attack. There was no more figuring out what the Hong Kong team were trying to do. It was all about going after the net and really building the pace and the aggression. The Hong Kong team lost it, and that set up a counter-attack for South Africa to finally go after the net. And after a long time, it was Andre Moret with the assist from Usman Samai who actually found the back of the net, setting up a counter-attack for Hong Kong to go all the way to the back and do the chase down. Ashley Bock, strong enough, but unfortunately the net was found, meaning that the scores were drawn, and now South Africa really had to get the hurry up and go charging. A great setup here, Samai going in, the rebound coming off, and Cameron Burrell there in the right place at the right time, tagging goal number 2. Hong Kong were now desperately on the back foot, and it seemed like the cracks were becoming chasms, as it was all about South African possession. Hong Kong did try and set up a few things, but a turnover around about the midway point meant that South Africa were once again going and charging. A rebound once again, and goal number 3 this time around from Jack Veladis. 3-1 now, the advantage, and it was looking like all of the momentum was on the South African side. Hong Kong were battling to keep possession. Every time they got it, there was a turnover, and South Africa were able to do the charge. Nice physical hits, allowing possession to go back to SA. Samai once again setting up a lot of this. A good rebound, and Birrell this time around getting himself his second goal. That's 4 to SA, and a big hit to the Hong Kong team that were just starting to drop their shoulders and not able to react. The hits were coming thick and fast now. Goal number 5 going to Mark Gio, and you could see that the Hong Kong goalie was done. Goal number 6 came quickly after that as well. Van Duisburg getting onto the score sheet. Commiserations to the Hong Kong goalie though, because he had a lot of hits coming at him, and he did manage to save some big ones as well. Unfortunately, the tally was just too high at the end. Hong Kong were able to go on the counter-attack every now and again, but South Africa's physicality, they were able to turn it over and get it back, and then go straight all the way back to the net and go charging once again. The Hong Kong team just unable to run with the late match pace, even though they managed to get a couple of turnovers. The goalie was there at the right time, in the right place, and got the job done for SA. Not too many hits asked of the South African goalie. So Hong Kong tried to push as hard as they could late on in the match, but every time they lost possession, it was a strong counter-attack for Team SA. Straight to the net once again. The first shot just going wide, and a deflection from the goalie kept that one out. That meant that they had to try all the way around the long side. Some great work for Burrell, going one-on-one with his man and beating him out to bring the puck back onto the ice and setting up the first goal of the day for Samai. That would make it 7-1, and SA had all of the momentum now going into the closing stages of the match. Hong Kong knew exactly what they had to do, and that was just to simply not concede any other goals and try and bring the gap down as much as they could. They were a long way back, the deficit being 6 at the late stages. SA kept the pressure on and just kept piling all the way to the goals, making sure that the Hong Kong team could not come back at them. Once again, all the possession was down on the Hong Kong end. And SA's physical form of match play. And even though the goal mouth was almost swamped with every single player from Hong Kong, they were still managing to apply pressure and find that net. Incredible play between Veladis, Morer and Edwards. Edwards ending off with the net, making it 8-1. And the clock was just about out now. Time for one more play, basically. And SA were trying to see if they could make it double figures in their second match of the event. Again, all the pressure still on Hong Kong, everything down in their quarter all of the time. Every time they tried to break away, there were enough bodies on the SA side to still keep the pressure piling on. And it was Birrell with an impressive backhand finish that made it 9 as the whistle went. An incredible finish, seeing South Africa take their second victory of the tournament so far. The third event was South Africa versus Georgia, and it was probably going to be one of the toughest lineups that SA has had so far. Very evenly matched straight away, and Georgia definitely going to be a tough team to beat this time out. A much more equal team on physical build, and even though SA took the fight straight to them, the first attempt on goal for Morer was saved, and with some confidence. Goalie seemed to be a little bit shocked that it landed perfectly in his hand. Not to be bested though, SA attacked quickly once again to try and find the net. And they did, Samai taking an early one this time around. South Africa would have to use that momentum, because it was clear that Georgia were not going to back down on this one. A much more defensive strength. But still, the second goal went in, and SA walking away with it. Buerta this time around. In the timeout, lots of strategy talk, because everyone knew that SA and Georgia were equally matched, even when the gloves came off. This time around, though, broken up on international matches. No brawling allowed. That is only for the professional leagues. The hits kept coming, though, and SA were piling it on. It was clear that the attacks from SA were starting to rattle the Georgia team. A good effort from the goalie, but that meant number 3 went in. Gio this time around, finding the back of the net. Obviously the talk from the coach on the side of Georgia, unfortunately not working out. Trying to swing the strategy from defensive to attack to see if they could get under the skin of SA. But turnovers and counterattacks, even though some long play, made it challenging for the forwards to try and still hang on to possession. Georgia managed to turn it over and go straight on the counter, but they had only one man working at the front. Boris Kochkin, their strong forward, breaking the back of the net and getting Georgia onto the scoreboard. Only 1 point in it now. So Georgia had got the big wake up, and South Africa were going to have to just keep doing what they know how to, and that is attack, attack, attack to stay out front. This was now going to be a very even match for the rest of the play. SA going back into their half, trying to wind it up and play the long game to go down the left-hand side, split to the middle, and then start setting things up. SA working so well to get tons of bodies into the box and then go after the goal. A face-off situation setting up here right in front of goal. And Morer bangs in a power shot. And that is goal number 4 to SA. Got to be one of the goals of the tournament from a tricky situation. And the goalie on the Georgia side just starting to get a little bit cheesed off with how much action he's getting. A great counter this time around, and the forwards working extremely well together, dancing away off the front. And once again, getting all the way to the front, the goalie not even thinking that one went to the back. Unfortunately, it did. And Georgia pulling one more back. The deficit now only 1 point once again. Back and forth we go. Georgia, one of those teams that seems to get fired up as soon as they're under pressure. There's never been more than a 2-goal deficit the whole way through the match. All the pressure now on the SA side of things. The whistle blowing up for goalkeeper interference, but that was an SA player knocking the goalie down that time around. Just a bit of chaos around the goal mouth, but no goal going in. Still 1 goal advantage to SA, but it was clear that Georgia were now the ones to watch out for. And that power forward, Boris Kochkin, all about him at the moment, driving the entire team by himself. Marais taking it all the way into the net, and Samai reacting to the rebound. That makes it 5 to SA. 2-goal deficit back on point, meaning it was going to be all Georgia now going on the big fight back. Once again, Kochkin flying to the net and straight in late in the match. Georgia finding something extra in the tank. 1 point in it now, and Georgia was starting to play with Team SA as they drew level 5 for 5 with only minutes to spare. SA starting to get a little bit messy in the midfield there, and once again Georgia all the way to the front for the first time to edge their way into the lead. 6-1, and the whistle about to go. That was it. No time for SA to react, and their first loss of the tournament. Georgia somehow coming back from nowhere to take a 1-point win. Man of the Match awards going for SA to Samai, and for Georgia, Kazulik, the defensive back player. Confirmation then of the first loss in the tournament for Team SA, going 1 point down to Georgia. They would also lose to Turkey their final match, dropping them down to 3rd in the tournament. We caught up with Team SA as they touched down.
It was a good experience. Obviously, it's always nice going overseas and playing against some of the best in the world in our division. Gained a lot of experience, gained a lot of new ideas and stories about what to do and what not to do. I think we could have done better. We'd hoped we'd get a gold medal, but you know, sometimes these things don't always work out, and there's small moments in games that change things. And as a younger group, particularly, we struggled a bit to come to terms with some of the tenser moments in the games when we need to seal it up. So yeah, but all in all, it was a good experience. Everything's always about growing and getting better. That's really the answer. I'm really proud of my team and the way that they played and the way they fought in the times that it was tough, because it wasn't easy. But going forward, you know, always you got to work harder. You got to try and continue to be the best and continue to set yourself standards that, you know, allow you to compete against guys that are training as hard as you and you know, putting in the work. It's not rocket science. The harder you work, the better you do. And although we did work hard, there's always room for improvement, and I think we can work a lot harder. Over and above that, I think it's just a dedication to, yeah, just to our attitude towards things and learning to be a bit stronger in the tough moments. And that's part of growing, I suppose.
I think we've made a massive step when it comes to team performance. The guys were faster, they were stronger, they were more conditioned. Yes, there were still a little niggle here and there, but in all, is, I would say, 100% difference in team drive and team ethics compared to 2015. As with any tournament and as with any result, there's always going back to the drawing board. So we're going to have to now rejig things, replan and resit and reshuffle. The aim is obviously to be successful every season, every tournament. So 2017, hopefully, when you ask me the same question, I can tell you that we're in 2 divisions higher. So here's hoping.
Obviously, it's not the result that we wanted. We won a bronze medal. But it's a young team, and obviously the other 2 teams, they're playing in the European League. They're playing, some of their players playing the Russian League. But we had a good tournament. We had a couple of injuries, unfortunately. But I think the team did well. It's a very young team, and we can only build on the future. We also feel that Mark Campbell, our head coach from USA, he had only a short amount of time to work with these guys, and what he did in this short 2 months' time is unbelievable. So if we have him here for a year, that's definitely going to make a big difference. We're probably going to try to host for 2017 in Cape Town, and that will make a difference as well in this Division 3 groups. Sponsorships is always a problem, and we do need sponsorships for this team. You know, we need to have 3 or 4 camps per year before you go to a World Championships. Some of the other teams go to very marquee 2 weeks before the tournament, where it's costing a lot of money. So we definitely need sponsorships. We do get a bit of, from the government, and we appreciate the fact that they've actually given us 500,000 rand this year for the association to use developing the association. But sponsorships, that's the thing that takes the sport to the next level and can make sure that South Africa is actually competing for gold.
All of the action from the 2016 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championships in Turkey was brought to you by the International Ice Hockey Federation, AFRI Live, and the South African Ice Hockey Association.